Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G, your week of August 11th and the following 7 days, where Venus and Jupiter are holding hands. We're talking Cancer energy. Jupiter and Venus together at 13 degrees to start the week. You know, if you had objects between those degrees, if you had objects at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it could be a house line, you started feeling it. These are the two great benefics of the zodiac. Generosity, protection, gifts, money, abundance. Things just kind of worked out. Prayers being answered. So Jupiter and Venus together. Remember, Jupiter and Cancer are supposed to be the ultimate place. It is the most exalted location for Jupiter energy, is in the sign of Cancer. A planet that gives you the wisdom, it gives you the ability to have the foresight, because sage energy, right? Jupiter, sagey kind of energy. It's spiritual. But it's more than that. There's a wealth of knowledge and wisdom with the planet Jupiter. It has this cultural wealth. You know, Jupiter is that higher education. I've traveled the world and I understand people and cultures and I'm not naive. And so there's a lot of wisdom there. And I'm spiritual. I'm deeply spiritual even. Doesn't mean you have to be deeply religious, but deeply spiritual. And connected to the Venus energy, this can be truly beautiful for those of you who have objects near this degree. So this is the beginning of the week. And 13 degrees is the Aries degree. So does that mean we get feisty and we're going to start fighting? Not necessarily, although it's possible, depending on some other things for you. Because 13 degrees is also a kickoff point. It's a starting of something. Something begins. Now, because Jupiter is also like the ruler of Pisces, sometimes when we see Jupiter, foreign lands, foreign languages, foreign countries, foreign statesmen, stateswomen, presidents, okay? Because it's people in charge, right? It's people who are of authority, people who can throw their weight around even. It's Jupiter and Cancer. So the combination of these two, Venus, money, banking, love, food for the public, food for people. This reminds me of an email I recently got from World Central Kitchen, having to freeze deliveries, having to stop cooking, because there's no food, no supplies, but we were able to hand out bread and water. And it's so this kind of makes me think about that, because military aid, 13 degrees, can be soldiers. So food and, Russia and Ukraine, right? And what's going on there. So with all that said, something new is beginning. Things just might simply work out for you, right? And so Cancer, home and family, but again, history and the past. So whether it's somebody you used to know, somebody that you kind of know on a soul level where you may have never met, but yet you kind of feel like you know them. Maybe it's family members who are on the other side of the world, people who aren't related to you, but always felt like family, from day one that you did meet them. They just felt like this was part of your tribe, even. And I will also say that the 13 degrees speaks to very youthful, energetic, feisty, maybe a little impatient, but usually optimistic. And Jupiter itself is usually optimistic. So I like this. So let's hope and pray that this is something like a spiritual leader stepping up and truly showing what true spiritual leadership sounds and looks like. Now, as the week moves on, Venus is going to pull ahead of Jupiter. It's going to pull away from Jupiter. As a matter of fact, Venus actually will end the week off at 21 degrees in the sign of Cancer. 21. So that'll be on Sunday. Within 7 days, she's already at the 21 degree mark. So for those of you who have something in the water signs around, this could be a nice setup for people who have things in Pisces and stuff in Scorpio. It could create a really big, beautiful, grand water trine. And if it's not happening for you at the beginning of the week, you have the opportunity for Venus to set up a nice trine to your stuff towards later at the end of the week. Okay. Remember Venus, money and banking, my bank account, love, desire, and again, food. The other thing too, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I also want to give you a dose of reality, because it is what's happening in the world, specifically here in the U.S. Recently, there have been some bills that have been written. The short of it is, it's making it illegal to be homeless, making it illegal to be poor, making it a crime even, where you can be arrested. If things go as they want, there'll be plenty of bodies to fill prisons. Right. We're going to move on and talk just a little bit about Mercury. Her retrograde is over. She's here at 4 degrees. Retrograde is done. She is going to move forward this week, but she only goes to 7 degrees. So she'll end the week at 7 degrees of Leo. She'll be right where Fortuna is. I had some questions under a recent video about Fortuna, and there's a lot of confusion, and I understand the confusion. I saw the comments, and I went and I researched a little bit, and they're saying word is Fortuna and part of fortune are exactly the same. And I want to show you in this software how they show them differently in here. That's what Fortuna looks like. She's about the highs and the lows, the swings of fortune. Think of the tide, the ocean's tide. So this is the wheel, the ship's wheel, the captain's wheel, right? And there it is. So it is a circle with lines through it, but the lines go outside of the circle. You see that? That's why I have it drawn there, so that you can get a better picture of it. Now, Fortuna is at 7 degrees, where our fortunes swing high and low. It's partnerships, right? And as the week goes on, it'll end up at 10, which will be corporations, authority figures, business, and government. Okay, now let's go look at part of fortune. Part of fortune is right there. You see how it looks a little bit different, and how at this exact time on this chart, it's at 2 degrees in Capricorn. You see, so this software that I have, I didn't create this software. I'm just saying it shows 2 different definitions and 2 different locations for the part of fortune and Fortuna. So they show them as 2 different things. Part of fortune has usually only been described as beneficial, where something is incoming, blessings are coming your way type of thing, right? Where Fortuna does not mean that. It can be an indicator for things going sour for you. You follow? Fortuna can be where you're coming upon, or you're in the midst of rough waters, and your fortune has changed. You may lose your fortune even. Okay. Basically, it says change is absolutely coming. So with that, I just wanted to take a quick second to show you that. And the sun is what we're focused on now. The sun begins off at 19 in Leo energy. Remember, Leo, children, fun, joy, creativity, romance, mating, dating, relating. And unfortunately, lots of information in the news about children and Leo energy, of being very risky with children and underage pedophile stuff. And I've read some comments from people, and it's like, sure, these things have gone on before. This isn't new. Okay. It's not ever okay though, right? I think this is a big deal. I absolutely do. Now, you can see the trine, the blue trine I have drawn in, and that is going to be for the sun. By the end of the week, in 7 days' time, this sun is going to get to 26 degrees of Leo. So that means the sun will sit right there in this blue trine, 26 degrees in Leo. This would be a hot point for a lot of you. A lot of you have Regulus at 26, 27, 28, 29. That's normal, okay? Regulus is a slow mover. So that Regulus will be trining the galactic center at 27 degrees in Sagittarius, very slow mover. Galactic center doesn't move fast. And Chiron, a wound, and it's a wound with the body. And Aries is young energy, can also be military, can be an injury to the skull, right? A wound that I received in the past. And it's about my ability to exist, my right to exist. So that's a huge trine with an authority figure, wounds from the past, and the galactic center, which typically is judges and judgments, Jupiter energy. 27 degrees, so we are going to be hearing about it. And so that's news and information, could have to do with something in foreigners, foreign lands, foreign countries, foreign languages, higher education even, publishing, public speakers, public figures, performers, performances, statesmen, presidents. You know, we think Leo, we think Sagittarius, we think Aries. It's real fiery. It's real feisty. We know when we're around that energy. It's hot. It's quite colorful. It can be cocky. It can be confident. It can be overly confident. It can be quite courageous, ready to rumble. So this is a big fire trine, and the 27 degrees, it's not going to last long, but it might make for some, interesting things for the weekend for some of you. If you look in your chart, that grind fire trine, hopefully it brings optimism to a wound, but likely it will light up the wound from the past, and there's conversations about it. 27 degrees isn't just the conversations. When we think of that 27 degrees, we're thinking siblings, we're thinking childhood, we're thinking when we were in school, we're thinking peers and neighbors and coworkers too. So if it's not our wounds, if it's not us going through it, we may know somebody going through it. We may be aware of it. Social media, the mind, the wounds of the past.